You can always start in my room. Hey YouTube, I'm cold. I'm drinking iced coffee and got the fan on. It was hot in my house. The heat was on too high some, and I got extra hot. And now the cold feel good to me. I want to get up, but this is a part of me being in the raw, rare form. That's what I want y'all to see. I don't want to be all dolled up and just what you see. What you see, what you get. So I didn't come on yesterday, so I owe y'all some time. So I'll spread that time out a little bit. I won't do it all at once because long videos just don't get attention. Anyway, I let's talk about all the things that I endured as a child. Okay. Um, and I say that because it's a part of the journey. It's a part of the journey. Okay, because you have to know where I come from in order to know where I'm trying to get to because I haven't made it to where I want to be. I'm not where I used to be, and I know people hear that a lot. I'm nowhere used to, where I used to be, who I used to be, how I used to be. I'm nowhere near that person. I'm nowhere near that person. The things I used to do, yeah, I don't deal with those. But it took a lot. It took a lot. Those things just don't happen overnight. You know what I mean? Um, they take a lot of work and a lot of dedication. It's called a lifestyle change. But once you get the hang of it, you seem to, it just becomes natural, right? It becomes natural. You don't even notice the changes anymore. Everybody else do, but you really not because you just who you are at this point. After my mom passed, I endured a lot. I think I told y'all about fighting aunties and uncles, and it was 8 siblings besides me in the house. Um, Not counting when cousins drop their children off and that type of thing. The your grandma house is like the big mama house, and that's what everybody flock to for everything. Holidays and not even holidays, just because they wanted to stop by, so they stopped by. Well, I played a lot of a parent role in my cousins and nieces and nephews and brother life. Was it hard on me? Yes. And why was it hard on me? It was hard on me because the way things went after my mom passed, because I'm only 9, I'm not really knowing what I'm going through. I know it's a change, but I'm not knowing what the change is. Just too young to understand the change. Okay. So I'm going through the motions. I'm not knowing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not knowing what I need to be doing. All I know is now, all I know is my childhood was just snatched real fast. I didn't get a chance to enjoy like childhood. Like I didn't. Like when my mama passed, I like had to grow up quickly. I had an older sister when my mom passed. I had an older sister, but she got into some things and got out with her boyfriends, and she went down the wrong path herself. She couldn't do nothing for me. She couldn't do nothing for my brother. She couldn't. Was she old enough to take us home? Yes, she was. But she couldn't because she was sick. She had an addiction. I told y'all about that. So she barely could do for herself. So it wasn't no help there. So things I remember is things like being forced to like sign over the rights of each one of our fathers. Sounds horrible, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I was told to do it. I was a kid. I was told to do it. I wasn't no more than 12, 11, maybe. And I did it. Not knowing that I was taking the rights away from my own dad to me and my little brother, his only two children. My mom had four children, but two, me and my little brother, was with my dad. The other two, he raised them. But I found that rights away. And then I remember, y'all, a lot of things is patchy. A lot of things I have just covered, not to, ever think about it again because I held on to so much animosity and unforgiveness even after this person was gone to heaven. I still held on to things that was done, and I still remember things that was said, and I still remember feelings that I had when I was having. I I remember going to court, and y'all, I don't know what we went to court for. I know we stood in front of a judge. I know that much. At this moment, as I got older, the only thing I can think is I signed those papers and then she became legal guardian. And me signing the papers made it seem as if our fathers didn't want to have anything to do with us. Y'all, that feels stupid. Like, that's so hurtful and so deceiving. Like, who who makes somebody do that? Like, you already going through motions. I was already going through it, y'all. My mom was gone. My dad hadn't played a part because he was all over the place, running around with her best friend, my mama's best friend, and her kids and all this other stuff. Totally forgot about us. And then he got incarcerated. Then we ain't see him for a long time. Like, it was just a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. So after the court thing, I'm going to assume that she started getting like funding. I don't know, food stamps maybe. Now that I'm older, I don't think she could have gotten like cash for us. But who am I? I don't know. I know she had a good job. I know that she made nice money. I don't know if her money was, cause we was some little bad kids too. Sometimes, uh, we would like she would go on a trip because she worked for Nestle, and we would go on a trip. She would go on a trip, you know, and on her way back from the trip, here come six big boxes of just all type of Hershey candy, like all different types. You know what I'm saying? Some of your favorites, some of them you don't know nothing about. I remember you don't see them no more, but I remember the Chunkies. I don't know if y'all remember those. The only part I hated was they had the raisins in them. But that peanut and that chocolate melt together, oh my God, that was the best. That was the best. And it would be funny that I'm sitting up here talking about candy, and I used to be called all out my name, barrels of cotton, and I got put on a diet at about 10 years old. I had to stand, I mean, she took pictures of this. I had to stand in her room and eat yogurt. I hated it. I didn't even like yogurt. I didn't because I didn't get a chance to know what yogurt was. I didn't get a chance to know what it was. All I knew of it as is a punishment food, and it's like I don't want none of that. I don't want to eat that. For years, I no. In my adulthood, no, I wouldn't. No, I don't want no yogurt. Well, what it tastes like, I don't care. I don't care. That was a punishment food for me, and I'm you know, my when my father finally seen me, and it was like, yeah, well, you know, you didn't start gaining this weight until after your mom died because you wasn't big at all. You wasn't a big girl. You start gaining this weight afterwards. You know what I mean? This weight is not just weight that, you know, you've been growing into for a while. Um, it all came on, over time after that passing. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like me trying to deal with it because I don't know. I don't know. My mind all over the place. I don't know. Like I stayed on a diet. Like she sent me to the store for some pep milk, and I got a peppermint. And when I got back, I had the peppermint in my mouth. Man, she slapped that candy out of my mouth like y'all. The candy went flying across the room. A peppermint, y'all. How much weight was a peppermint gonna put on me? But why am I being harassed about my weight? Why? Then I remember we became like a charity case, like all these counseling sessions and us going in these rooms and beating pillows and all this stuff. Listen, let me tell y'all something right now. If y'all think putting a child into a therapy or a counseling session with other children, y'all, sometimes that stuff can reverse, which means it can take that child deeper into what they're going through. It's not helping bring them out. And for me, it wasn't helping bring me out. It was shutting me down. It was shutting me down. Why? Because I hated it. I didn't understand why I was even there. Okay, I'm not even knowing, like, you just take it among yourself to say, oh yeah, she dealing with something because her mother passed. Like, I don't even know what I was dealing with my mother. I don't know. So I'm going in this room with all these people, and these people talking to me and asking me these questions, and I'm thinking to myself, like, hmm, why am I being asked these questions? Like, what? And I'm being on this pillow because what? I mean, people beating on them, the kids around me, they beating on them and they crying and yada yada yada, and I didn't. I was I was confused. And I'm one of those children that it backfired on. So parents, think about that type of stuff. Grandparents, think about that type of stuff. Aunties, uncles, think about that type of stuff. When you get a young child and they go through trauma, and if they're not showing you that they're acting out, then maybe, just maybe, it's not their time to be put in therapy. Because listen, it was therapy after therapy, all these different people. At the school, I'm in therapy. Then when I get home, I gotta go to therapy. Then when the weekend come, I can't enjoy my weekends because I gotta go to summer school and therapy. You know what I'm saying? Then all of a sudden, when I get in high school, you decide to put me in a girls' home. Like, what is the what? That will make you dislike a person so bad, because it's like, you really helped my life just go down. You didn't add anything. Before I even got sent to the girls' home, I was 12. I ain't gonna never forget. I'm not gonna ever forget this. I was 12 years old, and I call myself being fast. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only thing I could call it, because again, I can't tell you what I was going through. I was so busy trying to be a kid. I didn't know what the heck was going on around me. I knew that I was doing all these different tasks. I knew that I was taking care of all these children. You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm older, I noticed that my childhood was snatched from under me. I am like motherly to everybody now. So sometimes it comes off as I'm trying to be someone's parent, and it's not that. It's just I don't know no other way, because this is how I grew up. I don't, and it happened fast, fast, fast. You know. So when I was 12 years old, I got into a relationship. Oh my God, the love of my life. You couldn't tell me nothing. The coolest, most popular guy on the block, and he was my boyfriend. I was just too pretty. Well, my face was too pretty, because I never got told, like, just saying like, you so pretty. I haven't never, really heard that. And then when I got old, it was like, why can't you just say I'm pretty? Why do it got to be you so pretty in the face? Like, what do that mean? Cause what that mean? Cause I'm a plus size girl. You know what I'm saying? I'm not pretty on the. I'm just not pretty because I'm fat. Like, I don't get it, because it wasn't. You know, I was harassed in school saying I smell like old people. She used to curl my hair up, and you know how you curl your hair with rollers and you sleep in them, and then you get up and you push. Like, I'm in fifth grade. What do you? Why? Why? Then you put a curl in my head. You put a curl in my head. The curl is whack because it stayed dry. Even when I first got it done, it stayed dry. But I went to your beautician. Like it was just crazy, y'all. Like I'm just under all these old people everywhere. When do I wasn't interacting with younger people. Like when it was on good terms, I was her ride or die. Like I'm running, running, running. You know what I'm saying? When I wasn't on her good side, whenever she felt like she wanted to flip the switch, she flipped the switch. I'm talking about pull her hair, fighting, fists, fighting. You know what I'm saying? And you would think, and this is who, wow, my mother left me to this. My father abandoned me for this. How about even feeling like it's my dad's fault because she don't even like him? So me getting mistreated is because of that reason. Because what other reason would you have to mistreat me if I haven't done anything? I wasn't messing up in school. Okay. I was 12 years old. I'm in a relationship, like a full blown committed relationship, like literally being controlled to death. Do you understand me? When I say controlled to death, I mean my every move was being controlled. And she hated this person. So I was sneaking to be with this person. I remember one time she came looking for me and I was at this person's house, right? And do y'all remember on the Color Purple, it's them straps, a razor strap. They were sharpening them razors. Y'all probably know because in them old school barber shops, they had them razor straps. Well, she had one. And the night that I was down his house, she decided to whoop me down the street with this razor strap. The whole neighborhood seen it and still will talk about it to this day. I can see some of them kids now as grown-ups and they be like, remember you got that whooping down the street? Like, what? Yeah. But it's still the joke of all times. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine just thinking like now you're in another and you be like, dang, people still laughing at me from that. Like, why would she make me do that? Like, it draw me closer to him. Little did anybody know, he was jumping on me too. He was fighting me. He was literally fighting me. Yeah. Black ass. Um, he done held me hostage. I was a freshman in high school before I got put in that home. I couldn't go to school. I would leave extra early. I joined the choir and everything, knowing I didn't want to be a part of it because you had to be at school so early. But I would start leaving extra early because I didn't want him to catch me because he'll pull up on the side of me. Mind y'all, he like 16, I'm 12. So he would pull up on me and be like, hey honey, where you going? I just get in the car because I already knew where I was going. I wasn't going to school though. And you know, I had a couple of dollars, I don't know, like 15, $20 in my pocket. And it was very rare that uh you got I got money. Because normally, like when I first went to school, I got maybe two new pair of jeans and bus coins. It was very seldom that like I would get money to, you know, like everybody else would be sitting at the lunchroom table eating like chips and being able to buy them nachos and you know what I'm saying? At this point, I knew something was wrong at this point because I would sit by myself. People would think it was because I was conceited, not knowing what I was going through at the moment, but my body was starting to, tear down because I very seldomly was going to school. I didn't know what to do with the abuse that was going on with him. Then I'm going home and it's abuse there some days, and it's just like a shocker. It's like a shock, to the brain, or it was something, but you couldn't tell me nothing because I loved him. You know what I'm saying? Like I had got to the point where loving me and fighting me became the same thing. Does it make sense? If you love me, you'll fight me. So loving me and fighting me meant the same thing to me. Fighting wasn't a bad thing. Hell, I didn't know nothing else though. I knew that I'll get in trouble. I call it getting in trouble. Um, and then I'll be the road dog. I'm going to the mall. I'm getting what I want. Um, and I'll be the only one. You know what I'm saying? As if I'm special. I'll be the only one going everywhere, every single place. I don't care. Wherever we was going, shopping, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that was lovely for me because I loved going out and being around people and going. I used to love that. I used to love that. I used to enjoy that quite often because it felt like I was getting some type of positive attention and I knew that I was going to get something. I knew that. You know what I'm saying? Or I knew that we was going on a mission to go Easter shopping, or you know what I'm saying, picture shopping, school picture shopping, or to get the boys some suits or something. Okay. We was always going to do something. I was that road dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm that road dog right now, but tomorrow I'm just be that underdog. You know what I'm saying? And to make up for me being that underdog, I become the road dog for a little while. It was a lot of materialistic type of love. That's why I don't write in diaries anymore. Because I had a diary and I was writing in my diary and I thought I had my diary. So what she used to do was she used to go, and she didn't like the way we was keeping the basement because that's where we was all at, in the basement. She didn't like the way we was keeping the basement clean. So she would go down there and clean the basement. Okay. And in the midst of her cleaning the basement one day, she found my diary and she read it and she threw it in my face in front of everybody and told me, because I did right in there when I first had sex, which I was 15, but still, you don't have to tell everybody. And then you look at me and say, well, God didn't do it, so you don't have to do it. But while you read my diary, this is all I got. You know what I'm saying? Through all these therapists and stuff you sending me to, they saying right, right, right. Now you just took that from me. And I can't talk to you. Why can't I talk to you? Because you're not one of those people. You one of those holier than thou people that is so hard to freaking talk to because they don't know what's going on in the outside world. They just know what's going on in their world. She was one of those. She was one of those. If you go to her and be talking to her about something, you immediately finna pull out the Bible and read it because God didn't do it. So why you gotta do it? I'm not God. Most of all, I'm not perfect. Second of all, it's a crowd. But this is the stuff that I'm learning as I'm getting older. That's the weirdest part about it, I think. Like people can be like, you so backwards. But I promise you, if it's backwards, I was thinking backwardsly. Because I was not catching on to what was going on in my head. I wasn't catching on to it. I wasn't catching on to it. I wasn't. I'm thinking I'm okay. I'm thinking I'm just fine. I'm thinking I know that I'm protected. You know what I mean? If I needed that boyfriend to go take care of anything when I would get in trouble, that's what he was gonna do. If he was gonna if I needed him to take me out of the situation, he was gonna do that too. Oh yeah. He was gonna do it because anytime he'll have me to himself, he could fight. You know what I'm saying? Don't ask me what I did, because I don't even know. I went to a school dance when I was in eighth grade. I went to a school dance and I had on some lipstick. He wasn't happy with it. Um and he judged my outfit because he ain't never seen it, so he didn't understand why I was looking the way I was looking. He didn't like that neither, but he for sure wiped the lipstick off. At the time, we had beepers, and he took it off me and threw it across the street and broke it. Because I was going to a school dance. That's what we did when we was little. We went to school dances. All our friends was there, and we kicked it. But he wouldn't understand that because he wasn't in school. So I didn't understand why he didn't understand at the time. You know, I didn't understand. I done been hid in closets. I done been took over his friend's house and just held there until, you know what I'm saying, it was time to get out of school. It was like back in the day when Sally Jesse Raphael. Y'all remember that show? I was watching those shows. Sally, Ricky Lake, those shows because he wouldn't let me from under his thumb. Okay. So then, mind you, now this family, so we all know each other. The block, my mama raised up on this block. Her sister's was raised on this block. Like the neighbor kids, my grandmother knew, like, you know what I'm saying? So it was they kids to they kids to they kids. We all on this one block. You know what I'm saying? So everybody know everybody. You know what I mean? If you came on the block and you was new to the block, you was gonna soon be known in the block because it was easy to get in the block. You know what I'm saying? I used to do things like I've always been this real creative person. So I got a couple of girls and we got together and did practice dances, and I used to, you know, makeup dances, and we used to do them, and we danced at the block party, and we got t-shirts and stuff alike, spray painted. You know, when spray paint was out, you know what I'm saying? Um, you would think that being in the Buck Billiken parade would be something adventurous for a kid. I hated it. I hated it. I didn't want to do it. I did not want to do it. And at the time, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to walk. I didn't want to walk that far. That was just a far walk for me. I don't want to walk that far. Let alone being in the dance. I don't know. I don't want to do this. I didn't want to do it. But all my decisions was being made for me. What decision did I have? Because if I want to be in control at home, I was most definitely being controlled outside of home. Trust me. When I got put in the girls' home, that didn't make me no better. That didn't help me. Why? Because you put me in the girls' home with all these girls, and then they put me in an all-girl Catholic school. What? And a lot of these girls had like real issues. Not like issues like I had. Because even at that time, I wasn't doing nothing. I was not doing nothing, y'all. And I'm not trying to say I was always innocent, but you know what I'm saying? I tell a lie here and there. But I wasn't doing nothing bad enough to even be put in the girl's home. At this time, I'm still not even knowing what depressed means. Because I don't feel nothing. I feel like me. I was trying to be a kid and do adult things. That's what I knew. Like, is it weird that I didn't know like what I was feeling or if I was feeling it? You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if that sounds slow or retarded or whatever, but it felt weird. It felt weird. It did. And the girls that was there, a lot of them was like addicted to drugs and their families or their mothers, and they really didn't have nowhere to go. So like when the weekend came, people got passes. I would be like the only one leaving the house. So when I did leave the house, I used to do silly stuff when I came back, like bringing drinks, and me and the girls sit in the bathroom and we drinking little cheap little liquor, Parmesan. Yeah, that's what we was doing. That's what I was doing. Like my roommate, I can't even remember her name, but I had a roommate who used to like try to unalive herself by the wrist, and I said something to her I shouldn't have said, just trying to make it easy on her, but being very cruel at the time. You know how you say you want to show somebody something? If they want to really do it, let me show you how to do it. It was that type of thing. And yeah, they kicked me out. They kicked me out. Which I think probably was a good thing they kicked me out, because what I had started doing was, because of the girls in the girls' home was doing it, I had started finding pen pals from jail. And I will go to the jail and see these people. No, I don't know them. No. But this is what was going on. This is how people was getting outside. I was dodging therapy. What am I? What? What is it that you want me to tell you? What you want to know? I don't want to be in therapy. I'm sick of y'all. Like, leave me alone. Golly, just leave me alone. Then you go out, you get a job, and they take your whole check. They give you what they want you to have when you going out on the pass. You know what I'm saying? Then somehow, well, when you get ready and leave, you'll have money. But I'm working for my money right now. And I have to bring the whole check. I can't even cash it. So was that like a good feeling? Like, you know how kids get their first job, they be all giddy. Yeah, I got my own money. Woo, 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 woo. I didn't get that feeling. Yeah. Because when I started working, I had to get my checks over. When they kicked me out because of what I said. And I called home, and what was said to me was, it wasn't said to me. It was said to the people at the place. I don't know what to tell you because she can't come back here. Yep, I couldn't go back there. But where was I supposed to go? Where was I supposed to go? Cause who in my family was gonna go against her? And if she said I couldn't come to her house, then most definitely I won't go into their house. Most definitely. I do remember before going into the girls' home, when my sister finally got her life together, I do remember being at her house all the time and being at my favorite auntie house, which both of them are passed on. But it wasn't by like approval from her. She didn't even want me at my sister's house, period. She didn't want me at my sister's house. She most definitely didn't want me at my auntie house. That was her younger sister, and they just didn't get along. They just didn't get along. But again, let's control Rashida. Let's control Rashida because that's what that was. And it had became so overwhelming. It became like unbearable for me because I'm not even knowing what's really going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm just focusing on what's going on in the moment. You know what I mean? I'm just focused on what's going on in the moment. Because who else do I have to call on? Who else can I say I need help? I need out. I couldn't. So those were my outs. Those were my outs. I loved my sister. I loved being around my sister. So yeah, I was always at my sister's house. She hated it though, but I don't know why. But she hated it. So as we move on, I'm in the girls' home, and before I got kicked out, she called, and she called on, um, we had a payphone, and she called me one night, June 16th. I ain't gonna never forget it. It was actually 1 month before my birthday, June 16th. And she called me and she said, Shan, which is my sister, her name is Chandra. They called her Shan, was unalive. I had just talked to my sister. My sister had told me she was playing the lottery because once she wins, she was gonna get her sister and her brother. We was gonna be together. Yeah. And now she gone. I don't got nobody to run the cover for. I don't. I'm gonna tap out of this and I'm gonna come right back with another one because I didn't do one yesterday and I keep it to 45 minutes. So we will pick up at me getting that phone call. Okay. See y'all in the next video.